Coming up on this edition of Celtics Weekly, we recap a noteworthy 4-game road trip, highlight the top plays from a big week, and welcome the Celtics back for a weekend slate at home. All that and more, starting now.
Welcome into Celtics Weekly, the show where we catch you up on everything 18-banner world champ Boston Celtics in the D'Amico seat. Today we have Chris Forsberg of NBC Sports Boston. How you feeling, Chris?
So I was going to say I have big shoes to fill, but it's just D'Amico, so I'm feeling okay.
We're thinking like size 6s?
Yeah. I wasn't going to go there, but yeah, I have little shoes to fill.
Okay, it is so freezing cold outside around here in Boston. I got my big snow boots on, but the Celtics are blazing hot because they're coming off a 3-1 road trip. Let's get right into Weekly Rewind. This is where we look over the week that was since our last Celtics Weekly show. And of course, we got to start right up with last night, Boston against Denver. No Nikola Jokic, but a nice performance for Boston. Got a little tight in the third quarter. Jason Tatum and Kristaps Porzingis showing up big time.
This is the most normal KP has looked since coming back. I loved it. First double-double of the season. He was everywhere. Loved that they brought the right energy coming off that OKC loss.
Let's go right back to the start of this trip, though. They got off on the right foot against Minnesota. Another close game. Jason Tatum with 33 points and Derek White added 26. What do you think of this matchup?
That's all right. So look, Tatum, I think it was 50 points plus rebounds plus assists. He was all over this, an MVP caliber performance. I love the way he set the tone and carried this team in Minnesota.
This second game of the road trip against Houston, as we're moving on, this was the most impressive to me because this could have been somewhat of a scheduled loss against one of the best defensive teams in the league, but the Celtics came out with their most commanding performance without Jaylen Brown.
You nailed this, right? Like you look at the schedule, the long trip, coming off an emotional game, second night of a back-to-back, still a little bit shorthanded, and yet the Celtics brought the necessary energy and found a way to get that W.
Okay, it was a long road trip. The third game against OKC started out really well in the first half. What did you see from this team in the second half where the challenges came with a gauntlet of a trip?
I turned the game off at halftime, so it was all good. I saw 65 points. They were cruising. I don't think there's anything bad to talk about here. Showed that, like, if this was an NBA Finals preview, Celtics showed they could hang with this team.
Okay, well, I think we can move on from Oklahoma City because, as I said, 3-1 road trip, that's a great result for the Celtics, and you'll see those OKC Thunder again on March 12th. They'll have Chet Holmgren most likely back at that point. Who knows what these teams will be after the All-Star break and who they develop into. But to get that little second half out of the taste out of our mouths, let's move on to Plays of the Week, because this is where we highlight the very best of the Celtics. And we're going to get started at number 10. What else? The best perimeter defender in the league, Drew Holiday, picking it off over to Jaylen Brown for a nice finish at the rim.
I like that he had Tatum, he had Brown, but he calmly picked the best option out there, just dumps it off nice and calm. This is what Drew does, creates on the defensive side and makes it into all.
Number 9, JT at the top of the key. I call this situational awareness.
Oh, no.
Okay, just sinking a 3 right there.
He snatched those ankles, stepped back, and calmly down. Now, you know the rule is, if the guy goes down, you got to make the shot.
Absolutely.
And Tatum took care of both.
Number 8 is JT again. This time against Minnesota. He looks like he's setting something up here or saying, I'm going to go left, but nope, he's just setting up his own shot again.
Did you hear our guy Drew Carter's call? He was like, looking for a little barbecue chicken. No, maybe a little escargot. That's the defensive player of the year on the other side, and Tatum roasted him.
Number 7 starts with a Derek White rebound. This is like next level 3-man weave, like you did in second grade here to a Porzingis dunk.
I love this because, again, Tatum in transition, knows got KP running with him. Perfectly thrown lob. KP goes up and finishes, although my heart always flutters when KP's flying through the air.
One more look. Again, 3-man weave. Did you do that drill or is that just me?
I mean, just...
Are kids still doing that drill?
They just move that basketball perfectly.
Number 6. Jason Tatum again. He's getting a lot of love on this.
I'm catching a theme.
I'm pretty sure he just crossed over the entire state of Minnesota, and that's a big state, Chris.
He went through like 9 lakes on that trek through Minnesota and threw down yet again with Rudy Gobert.
Number 5, Derek White getting a little love here. Best shot blocking guard in the league. Best shot blocking guard in the league against Houston.
Hold on, how is this not number 1? He baits Dylan Brooks, makes him think he's going to get to the hoop and then swat just like Derek White.
Well,
Derek
number
White
4 again starts with another defensive play here. 2 J's, double J effort, and then look at the pretty possession over here on the other end. You get everybody involved on the court here.
Defense creates offense. I love this. Tatum sticking with the play, and I don't know, they should have known he was patrolling. And then to hustle back and be ready to toss up the lob. Everybody making moves, working fast.
Number 3, have you had enough Jason Tatum?
No.
Because here he is, orchestrating again, but this time he finds the big guy, Luke Cornett, down low.
Ooh, I like that we saved Luke for the top of this thing. Like,
Luke always gets in here.
He was ready in the dunker spot, and what does he do? Finishes the dunker. Oh, man. Porzingis.
A little poster there from Luke Cornett. Number 2, Peyton Pritchard, starting out on D. Gotta love the effort that guy always puts in, but this is something we've missed. Kristaps Porzingis extension. Ooh. Look at that block, that rim protection.
DeAndre Jordan was trying to turn back the clock, and Porzingis just went up there and just sent it backwards. Amazing play. Like, just, again, remember how good DeAndre Jordan was at dunking the basketball? Still could get up, but Porzingis said no.
Number 1, we cheated here a little bit. This is a little bit of a 2-for-1 because you have to start with this ridiculous play that Derek White creates for himself at the top of the key at the very end of the Minnesota game. And then, what do you get? A little corner office bank shot from Derek White.
Okay, first off, how does Derek even keep his feet in bounds on this? Like, most guys in the NBA, their feet are too big. He has to, like, tippy-toe. Bank was open. Found a way to get it done.
So, all in all, terrific road trip for the Celtics. As we said, they were crossing over many Great Plains, some kind of Great Plain road trip back and forth. I can't even call it a West Coast swing. We got you caught up with everything basketball. I think it's an excellent time to head over to the big board, check in with Melissa Valdez on what the fans are saying on social media with our Social Snapshot. Social Snapshot is where we check in with all you weirdos on the internet. You Celtics fans, you know you're weird. We're here with in-arena host and correspondent Melissa Valdez.
Totally not weird, but we love our fans, and they're definitely talking out there, you guys. So let's check out what social media has been up to in today's Social Snapshot. All right, now we've got here from @Celtics Lab. We all know who these 2 young men are, some future Celtics basketball players, Ian Horford and Deuce Tatum. We also got over here @Juan Jose Rod RD, Ian Horford versus Deuce Tatum. #NBA, #Celtics. We all know that the Boston Celtics and the Garden super family oriented. We always see a lot of Celtics family running around, and we love to see these 2 just chopping it up at pre-warm up. You know, they were hooping on the court, just having a blast. It's their playground, you guys.
So let's see, Al Horford and Jason Tatum can win like combined 5-6 championships, and then pass the reins right to these guys who will have all that experience from being on the court and be ready to hit the ground running. So 2038 or something. I'm not good at math. Don't make me do math.
I'm looking forward to that because they're already training. You know, they got some skills. Let's check out the next one. All right, well, we all know about this one. @Celtics Muse, Jason Tatum asked Joe Mazzulla before the game to be assigned to guard Anthony Edwards. Mazzulla definitely confirmed that. If you saw the Celtics Netflix starting 5, Anthony Edwards was talking a little trash, saying, locked him up 2 times. Talk about best player in the league. Y'all tripping. Well, we all know what happened in the last Minnesota versus Celtics game, in this last road trip. Jason Tatum definitely dropped 33 points on Anthony Edwards, and he only had 15 points.
Who's tripping now? I will also point out that on the last play, when Anthony Edwards had a chance to maybe send this game to overtime, you know who was the defender in proximity? Jason Tatum swiping down.
That's right. But, what do you have to say now, Ant? Let's take a look at the next one. Oh my God, how can we forget the best year ever, 2024, @Stool Greeny. 2024 was a dream. Oh, we won the NBA 2024 World NBA Championships. Take a look here at the guys at the ring ceremony, the 2 J's, Tatum and Jaylen Brown over here backstage with the trophy. Al Horford just living in the moment, the parade, the ring ceremony. It was just such an incredible year. How can we forget it? And I'm ready to run this back this year.
Melissa, can you see who is that Tatum holding up the trophy there? Because it's like the way the light is hitting it. Is that editing, or did it actually have it? Because it's got like a Simba
heaven sent or something. It was such an incredible moment.
Everything the light touches. I thought for sure this was photoshopped. I just want to believe that it's 100% real because it's so amazing to see the sun bouncing through and
It was
hitting
a
that Larry
beautiful
O'Brien.
time. How can we forget it? Let's do it again this year.
Absolutely. Melissa, if folks want to send you some submissions, maybe some of their own creations on social media, where can they find
That's
you?
right. You guys can find me on X or on Instagram at Miss Melly Valdez. Well, I want to know what you guys are talking about. So tag me and you might be featured in the next segment.
You can also find us in the comments section.
That's
You can
right.
just, say something there that you want to show on Celtics Weekly next week, or maybe say something about Chris Forsberg. We'll see. we got to hit quick commercial. We come back. We'll hear from Joe Mazzulla after the Denver game. Welcome back. Time now for Small Bites. It's the snack size segment that packs a main course punch. And guys, we're once again hearing from Coach Joe Mazzulla after last night's very late game against Denver. So nobody's going to guilt you if you didn't stay up to hear this, but he had some compelling quotes that we want to play for you about Kristaps Porzingis getting back in rhythm.
What kind of lift did Kristaps just provide, especially with the size? I guess his team that was a little bit smaller.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he was big time tonight on both ends of the floor. I thought that was, for this season, for the way the smalls are going on him, I thought it was the most physical that, he was, and I thought that was the most intentional we were about, not only getting him the ball, but getting into the paint versus smaller matchups. And so we're just going to continue to work through those. Even at the end, they changed some matchups. We were able to recognize that. But I thought his presence at the beginning of the game and, at the end of the game were big for us.
He's voiced to us he's been frustrated with this stop and starts to this season. Are you starting to see him kind of?
For him?
Yes.
Yeah. That's tough. I mean, he can't control it, so it's not on him. But, he's slowly getting back into a rhythm, but you just got to continue to work at it. I thought offensively he was tremendous. I thought defensively he protected the rim well. So we just need him to keep working at it, which he does. He was big. He was good tonight.
So we already saw the highlights, Chris, of Kristaps with the big extension, with the block. We were missing that rim protection a little bit, especially at the very beginning of the season. What do you think of what Joe had to say about what Kristaps showed you?
Yeah, I think he nailed it, right? Like, think about it from Kristaps' perspective, right? He comes back. He's trying to get in a rhythm, then he has tweaks an ankle. And then he gets back, and all of a sudden, the other side hurts. It's got to be frustrating when you're trying to get back into that rhythm. But last night felt like as comfortable as he has looked on both sides of the court. I loved both ends, the way he controlled the game. And 60 points in the paint for the Celtics, season high. It was clear they came in with an emphasis, especially without Jokic out there, to let Kristaps be a focal point. And I just think they need to do this more often, right? Like the three-point, they're just going to be nice where it's not falling. You can diversify the offense. What a luxury to have a 7'3" guy that you can just lob the ball into and do his work. I thought as he gets comfortable, you're going to see both that starting lineup and those sub lineups just start to take off.
All right, everybody over at NBC Sports Boston thinks they're so smart. We call your counterpart on the football side, Phil Perry, the senator. I'm going to start calling you the stockbroker for your Porzingis portfolio diversification. But you think you're really smart. We're going to put you to the test. This next segment is called Take Your Pick. Take your pick. We pose two choices to you, and you got to make a case for one. And that first choice is between, would you rather have 3 All-Stars heading to the Bay Area in February from this Celtics roster, or Jason Tatum winning MVP this year? I'm going to make my case first. My case is pretty straightforward. I love Derek White. I think he deserves an All-Star bid. I don't know how many times that's going to come around. Please get this man to San Francisco over the 14th weekend. Okay, that is what I want for Valentine's Day. Derek White, because Jason Tatum's going to win MVP at some point in his career. I don't think anyone's going to doubt that. So if it's not this year, it's going to be next year or the year after that. We need Derek White over in the Bay.
So we might have to fight to determine who is the president of the Derek White fan club, because I feel like I can make a pretty strong case myself. And I will say that would be great to get him there, and he deserves to be there. And it would be the capstone of a year in which he won a gold medal, won a world title, got an extension. Like, everything is coming up Derek White. But for me, it comes down to MVP is something that on the resume just shines a little brighter than the All-Star bid. And for Jason Tatum to get that, it would also mean the Celtics just absolutely launched in the second half of this season. We know the real goal over here is this trophy, but if Tatum was to get himself a nice little MVP trophy to go along with it, wouldn't be the worst thing.
I hear you. I think it's pretty good reasoning. I'll give you that one. This next one, coming off the heels of this road trip, unfortunately we didn't get to see the Nuggets with Jokic last night, but we did see OKC at almost full force. So I'm asking you, if the Celtics are blessed and lucky enough to get back to the finals, would you rather see OKC or anybody else in the West? I'm going to break it down and be real with you guys. I do not want to see that OKC team in the finals. That OKC team is feisty, and they don't have Chet Holmgren back yet. He just wrapped up 8 weeks of rehab, so I'd expect him very soon. I'd expect to hopefully see him when you host them on March 12th coming up. But that is a feisty defensive OKC team.
And no Alex Caruso in that game as well. That team is legitimately scary with the way that they can play defense. They would stress you, but I do think I like that matchup. I think it would be great just basketball-wise to watch that. So I'm selfishly rooting for it. Now, usually I root for the town I want to go spend the most time in, so I would typically pick warm weather, but it's June, so every place will be nice. I'll just have to lean into Bricktown and all that Oklahoma City can offer, which is, I don't know.
That is such a sports writer take. What's going to be the best destination for me to go on vacation with? Let's go to our third one quickly. This is pretty simple. How do you survive a New England winter? All right, I got to be honest. Right now, I think I'm about 70% soup. That's how I get through a New England winter. I just want hot foods all the time as easily as I can get them. To quote one George Costanza, not now, I'm shifting into soup mode.
Which soup is your go-to?
Well, last night I had turkey chili that my husband made me, and I gotta say, very, very well done, honey. Compliments to the chef.
Amazing. I say you ignore winter completely. You have to be bold when you go outside, pretend like it's not even super, super cold, bone-chilling cold. I played golf last weekend, and my friends think I'm a lunatic because we were out there for 5 hours in the freezing cold, but you warm up pretty quickly.
That is lunatic behavior. Again, the thing, you get to a certain age, and I guess you can golf in any conditions, but no thank you. You turn it into a winter sport.
You might have to go to the highlighter balls once the snow starts falling, but otherwise, we're good to go.
Highlighter balls. All right, well, the Celtics, very happily for our local fans, they're back at home for a nice little stand this weekend. Let's get into future focus. This is where we look ahead to let you know what's on the radar until our next Celtics Weekly show. And it's got to feel good to be home. You're hosting the Kings. They're coming off a 5-game win streak, 5 straight under their interim coach, Doug Christie. What do you like about this matchup?
So, it's always interesting to me. We can debate whether they needed to make a coaching change or not, but it's clear they found a little something under Doug Christie. Got them back on track. I'm happy for my guy, Kyle Draper of NBC Sports Boston back in the day, getting to call these games and watch a good team. Look, they have a ton of talent, Sabonis, Fox. These guys are outstanding. I'm eager to see just how much they can climb. If they can keep all this momentum, at least for one day, the Celtics need to turn them down a little bit.
All right, and then on Sunday, you're hosting the Pelicans, which maybe standing-wise, not the most compelling matchup, but could we see some Zion?
Ooh, so I don't know if you saw Zion's 360 windmill in his return the other night. We haven't gotten to see Zion enough in Boston, so I really hope we get that matchup because it would add a little spice to a Sunday matchup with the Pelicans.
Well, Chris, we're both going to be down there at TD Garden. Hopefully you guys will be able to check it out as well. And those are a couple of fun games. I would be remiss not to invite our audience to like, subscribe, find us on YouTube, find us at Celtics.com. Make sure that you participate in the comments because we want to hear all the interesting and perhaps mean observations you have about Chris Forsberg.
Yeah,
definitely not me.
it.
He's going to be back again next week. Thanks for joining us at Celtics Weekly.